Good morning, everybody. Mark, aka the Ministry Dude, coming to you from Livingston, Tennessee. Today's the 8th day of February, 2025. This is the 39th day of this year. I'm just counting from, we had 31 in January, so yep, 39th day. Perfect. I hope everybody's following along with through the Bible and getting a lot out of it because I love doing this. All right, we're going to start today with Proverbs 15:3. The sovereignty of God. The theological term for this is the omnipresence, of God. I had to wash that down. What it means is that God is present everywhere at all times. How naturally God revealed this to Moses, that his eyes are everywhere and he is completely in control of everything, comes through as the most absolutely expected thing we could imagine. Reassuring, isn't it? Proverbs 16:9. We are made of body, soul, and spirit. Our soul is the mind, heart, and will, the personality part of us. A man thinks about doing something, his mind. He feels like doing it, his heart, and he does it, his will. This verse is speaking about the natural man doing what he wants to do. It's called free will. When we have given ourselves to God, a different dimension comes alive in us, the spiritual dimension. It is through God's Spirit that He is able to direct us. The Spirit Himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. That's from Romans 8:16. The spirit part of us is that which connects with God's Spirit. It is our life, our power. Exodus 3:11. God calls Moses. Now I'm just skipping over the readings in these. Pick up a copy of it. I'll leave a link below the video. You can read through the whole daily reading. You'll understand it better. I'm just kind of skimming around on it. Exodus 3:11. God calls Moses. While Moses was certainly obstinate at time, as time and his process lengthened, his objection here could be termed an honest questioning. We must remember that Moses' last remembrance of the Pharaoh is that he wanted to kill him. It was only after God answered Moses' questions satisfactorily that honest skepticism turned into rebellion and disobedience. Exodus 3:14. The great I am of Scripture, literally, I am the one who is. This could also correctly be translated in I will be whatever I will be, which is the translation in verses 12, 4:11, and 4:15. In this revelation of himself, God was telling Moses that he was about to begin a centuries-long process of revealing his personality, and it would be seen in the many instances in which God would just be God, whatever that meant. In Moses' request to declare who was sending him, God was telling Israel to watch it as he unfolded his personality. I will be whatever I will be, the most important statement about God in all of Scripture. In each instance where Lord, with small caps, appears in the Bible, it is this to which God is referring. The reader should study those Lord passages very carefully to see what it is about himself which God is revealing. Jesus appropriated this I am title to himself on different occasions, causing the Jewish religious leaders to go berserk. Exodus 4:1. Moses makes excuses. But Moses had seen the remarkable event of a burning bush which was not consumed. He had remarkably experienced actual hearing the voice of God coming out of the bush. He had been given a remarkable revelation of who God is, and he said, but we never do what we do. We have two choices before us, always. But God, the way before me is difficult. That is resistance. Or the way before me is difficult, but God, that is victory. Where is the but in your life? I was itching there. Here's something from Exodus 4:5. Scripture clearly says this was a sign to authenticate Moses' ministry. We don't use witch signs today because we are to base our ministries on the teaching of Scripture, which Moses did not have, being the author himself of the first 5 books of the Scripture. Only one needs to compare a person or a ministry's teachings with the Bible to determine whether or not it is God-based. It is not that God could not work authenticating miracles today. He can. It is they are not needed. We now have His Word as our guide instead. Since God has already spoken to every need man has, to ask for additional special revelation would be to tempt Him. We should put forth the effort required to diligently study and know His Word. There will be no need for signs. Exodus 4:23. Moses responds to God's call. Moses knew before the contest even began that it was going to conclude with the death of Pharaoh's firstborn. Proverbs 21:19. A quarrelsome wife. Get to a total unfavorable place of solitude. And we're going to conclude with Luke 7:11. Jesus' second tour of Galilee, raising a widow's son in Nain. Nain was a town approximately 21 miles to the south and slightly west of Capernaum. 7:14. Luke 7:14. The later raising of Lazarus from the dead, as spectacular and moving as it was nothing new. Jesus had already performed that miracle, as this passage informs us. Luke, the doctor, is the only gospel writer who tells us about this medically astounding miracle. And now we're going to conclude with something from Adrian P. Rogers. I may know him better, but there is nothing better than knowing him. Well, thanks everyone for watching and listening today. Excuse me. Don't forget, underneath the video, I'm going to put a link to pick up a copy of Through the Bible. I encourage you to pick up a copy and read through it. Starting from day 1, from January 1, we're going to go through the Bible in 1 year. So I want to thank you again for watching and listening. And have a blessed day, everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow.